Hey guys, what's up? Back to Marvel Legends a little sooner than I expected. I was actually expecting that I'd cut a couple of Motu videos and probably a Bruce Lee video before I'd get to this, but I had to pick up a vacuum cleaner today, and I was like, I'm already here, so I checked the toy aisle. There was only one. Her paint job was fantastic, and I said, you got me. So yeah, literally in just the last video, we talked about this figure. I said during that video, I said, hey, got Gambit, got Wolverine. I think that if there's one more I want, currently, aside from everything in that line, I really want the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman new costume. I think it's fantastic. And I mentioned during that video that I'd already done a video talking about that costume. So I'll have it posted up there again, and you could check that out if you'd want. Because when this first came out, I did a review on the costume, specifically talking about how much I actually liked it. And now, I own it. And that's really cool for multiple reasons, because it'll give me a chance to compare her to my favorite Spider-Woman costume, which does not belong to Jessica Drew. Let's get into it by checking out the packaging. Alright, here we go. Spider-Woman, Spider-Man, Marvel Legends series. Yeah, we know exactly what this is. This is the Jessica Drew new costume, and I have to say, for these boxes, I'm hoping, because I still have this sitting down here, this becomes the standard. A full artwork representation of the character with a top area that shows kind of what it is, and then the back, which shows what you can get from the line. I'm really hoping that becomes the standard, because while this is okay, I gotta be honest here, this tiny picture doesn't really do much for me. I wish we would have seen like the full, or mostly almost a full body shot. That would have been fantastic. And then of course this up here is just fine, the Spider-Man. And on the back, there's no cross-sell like to show everything that's going to be available. I know you can't see the top of her or whatever. I know I got the camera a little too close, but I'm not going to adjust it. All you're really missing is this. It's a full body shot of the figure, which is fine, that's fine, but there's no cross-sell to show us what else we could get in this specific line. And this, if I'm not mistaken, is a pretty decent line. It has a good set of Spider-Man figures, even though, for me, on a personal level, I only really want like 2 or 3 of these, so like, they're not getting my money, but I think they could get some people's money pretty easily. I think this is a fairly solid line, if I'm not mistaken. Regardless, let's open her. Alright, here we are. The new Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. And it's fantastic. I'm not going to beat around the bush with it. It's fantastic. This costume is terrific. I mean, I really, really like it. I like the fact that here on the hands, we have this little diamond here. And it's pretty well painted too. It's got the red around it. It's got the yellow. I like the fact that the fingers are webbed. I like that this keeps her little symbol, which maintains part of her identity. But I like this spider lining right here. I like black and red. It's a 100% proven color scheme. I like the overmask here, which is a draw from my favorite Spider-Woman costume ever. I like the spider. I think the spider is fantastic, actually. The way that it curves around, goes down, and has this little yellow triangle at the bottom. I think that is unbelievably fantastic. I like the hair sculpt. I think that's done well. And I'm surprised at how much movement I'm getting out of her head. And we have a little trouble this way, but you can make it work. You can make it work. She can actually look up pretty good as well. Like, oh no, there's a bobber up there. Oh my God. Can she brood? She can't brood too well, but she can be sad. A little bit of side tilt, a little bit of side tilt. Decent. The head is one of the things I'm always curious about with the females because their hair often gets in the way. And of course, Marvel Legends, she does T-pose. She has the double joint here, so she can wrap all the way up. And then, of course, she has the knees. The arms are pinless. The arms are pinless. Let me fix that. Somehow we got out of focus. The arms are pinless. I'm impressed by that. The legs are not pinless. Same situation we saw with Gambit, which interests me, actually. She can kick her own butt. She can kick her own butt. And let's form controversy right here. She's got a butt. She's got a butt. Fully sculpted, big buns. As far as I'm concerned, after all that ridiculous level of controversy that came out over that one comic book cover, good. Good. You know what? Good. And I hope they keep sculpting her with just a big old butt. I hope they do. I hope they don't stop that. And it has nothing to do with liking a big old butt or nothing like that. It's just the whole thing that blew up, that giant stupid picture and the problems and yada yada. It did me no favors with all the drama that was surrounding it and all the stupidity that I saw from it. And so I'm happy that Marvel just said, "Badow!" But I'm fine with it. 100% fine with it. I don't care. Now, all of that crap aside, there are details on this figure that I did not notice when I did that other video, I think. I didn't know that there were little triangles here that then have this red line that go down into the foot. And I like this, almost like a Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, the bottom of the foot thing that's right here. I like that. But then there's another part of it which I didn't even notice before. This is cool. There's a little black line right here that goes down on the foot. And believe it or not, let me see if I can move the foot that way. There we go. Believe it or not, I did not notice that when I did the costume review. And I'm not surprised necessarily, because having these things in your hand, especially when they're done well, just really pulls the details out of a figure like this. This is fantastic. Absolutely 100% sold on the new costume. Do I read her comic book? No. Have I read her comic book? A little bit. I fell out of her comic pretty hard when all of a sudden Jessica Drew was like a pregnant superhero, and I guess it's whatever. It's comic books. Just that was around the time that I stopped reading, and I never read consistently before that point either. So, you might be asking, why would I even buy this character, right? Because, like, I've argued time and time and time again that if it doesn't have an actual purpose, if it doesn't serve a great purpose to me, if it's not something that I personally enjoy, yada yada, why would it go on my shelf? Well, one, I like Jessica Drew. She was a character that I started liking right around the time of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. And two, she's part of the Spider-Man franchise, something that I feel has actually stuck out and passed the test of time over the years. That is my favorite Spider-Woman costume ever. I've always thought that was the coolest Spider-Woman costume ever. And this, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty much a tribute to this. I mean, do we see the similarities here? The hair that comes outside of the cowl here, the eye covers, the big white eyes, the arm taking on this white with the spider that cuts across the chest, spider that cuts across the chest. Sure, we didn't follow the boot line. This is a Spider-Gwen thing right here with the feet that I mentioned, but I like Spider-Gwen. This takes hits from all over the Spider-Man franchise and really, really works her over to give her a whole new dynamic, taken and influenced from all over the history of Spider-Man. And that, to me, is shockingly well done. She came with 2 different hands, so she has punchy hands, she has climby hands, or dramatic hands, whatever you'd like to call them. And she has no effects. So this is where you could start arguing that the quality of what we get is starting to dip as opposed to the price that we pay. These are $25 figures minimum now. And some of them are well past that, and they don't come with anything more than she does. There are standouts. In fact, one of the ones that comes off the top of my head, I can't get her to stand up right now. One of the ones that comes off the top of my head is the recent Black Widow is a standout. We're talking, I think she comes with effects. She has the newer body sculpt. She has like 3 different heads so that you could pick the different generation of character that you like. The different look in general. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And it's right now it's very sought after, which is crazy because they all went to clearance on Target and they dropped down to ridiculous prices. Like they were going out the door for like $7.89. Like, I'm not kidding. And I saw people posting online, get to your Targets now. I went to both of my Targets. They were gone. The night before that happened, I was at Target. I walked in, I saw them, and I said, oh, well, I don't know. Not right now. I want her, but I'll wait. Maybe I'll get her off Amazon, yada, yada. Put her to the side. The very next day, I see posts. Guys, she's on clearance on Target. They're trying to get rid of her. Get down there. Get yours right now. I said, oh, crap. This was at lunchtime. I got done eating, and on my way home, I stopped by Target. All 20 boxes, and I'm not kidding about this, there were 2 rows of just her at that Target that I went to the night before. So I said, well, there's bound to be one. 2 rows, almost 20 figures at least, all gone. Drove to the other Target, all gone. I know at the other Target there were at least 10 or 12 the last time that I went there. Second they went on clearance, somebody walked up in there, or everybody walked up in there and was like, bow, 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 Widow. And so it makes you think, maybe you should grab these things. I understand waiting for a deal. I'm all behind you in terms of waiting for a deal. I'm not about to pay $24, blah, 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 because that's the argument we're having right now. She costs about 25 bucks. And as far as I'm concerned, she's on the cheaper side of the Marvel Legends. Most of them are starting to cost around $25, but I'm seeing them go for $30 and $40, sometimes with no real explanation as to why, and depending on where you get them from. Like if your area, if you have to go to like something like the mall, I'm seeing Marvel Legends priced at stores like FYE in the mall for ridiculous money. And I'm talking like $100 for something that's still sitting on a retail shelf. That is very blatantly a Marvel Legends. Like one character. No. No. And also, I don't believe that retail stores should be allowed to play aftermarket markup value. 80% of the time, what I do with FYE is I go in, I walk a circle, I find things that I find interesting, and I go, that's cool. Then I take a picture of it, and I leave, and I go on Amazon, because screw them. That's why. No way will I pay those prices at a place like that. And this is becoming a common thing for a lot of people that are dealing with Marvel Legends for the amount that we get. This character is fantastic. I really like this costume. I kind of wish she had a lower ab crunch, but I understand not breaking this up because they want the body cap to work in a very specific way. So I'm willing to let it go. And she has a decent amount of movement on the upper crunch where she can get all kinds of low and things like that. So I think that I could still do some climbing poses and some stuff like that. Her leg will go like all the way up like this. So I think that if you do it outright, you can get a bunch of like rising knees to a bad guy or something like that. And you can get stuff like where she's coming around and doing like a straight up dragon kick, and you can get stuff like that. And I think that if I put the crawl arms on and I worked with her the right way, and I brought this leg up and brought this leg down and put the hands on correctly, and yeah, I don't think I can get her to look up properly, but I might be able to get a type of climbing situation. I think it's possible. I think she moves well enough in the legs and everything, and also having that thigh rotation, that you could get away with it. I think you can do it. And she's, aside from her ankles, which are playing with me right now, they don't want to move quite well. I can get that foot to go all the way out. It doesn't want to go up. Maybe it doesn't go up very well. Maybe that's as up as it goes. And maybe I'm forcing it. No, this other ankle doesn't want to move at all. So I'm gonna have to do the hot water trick and pop her out and bend all of her joints and everything and get her all loose and nimble and everything so that I can get some pictures with her. Because she's great. She's great, and she's an absolute tribute to something that I've appreciated and loved forever. Because this Spider-Woman is my favorite costume that has ever existed in all of Spider-Woman history. It's fantastic. But I'm not oblivious to the fact that she didn't come with any webs, she didn't come with any effects, she didn't come with anything but 2 other posy hands. She has no grabbing hands, which is fine in all honesty. Most of the Marvel Legends, as far as I understand, a lot of them don't. A lot of the Spider-Mans come with punches, come with wall crawls, and come with webs. And she didn't get anything like that either, but she doesn't do this, so I don't really have to worry about that with her, so that's not an issue. And her open hand, like for shooting things like the spider, you know, that green blast thing that she does and stuff like that, all of that stuff will be fine. But she didn't come with that either. Like, she doesn't come with the effect to be able to shoot those effects, you know what I mean? And she doesn't come with like a web or anything of that nature that would kind of signify things that you could do with the character. She doesn't come with an effect that's like her effect, where most of the Spider-Man characters have often come with webs, a swing line or something like that. But there's been a couple of Spider-Mans that came out in the same collection that she came out in that they don't come with anything either. So we're starting to lose some of the effects. And I've also seen where Spider-Mans will come with, in fact, I think it was very recently we just seen a Spider-Man. It was the video game Spider-Man. The PS4 Spider-Man came out. Again, it's the next version of him that we got. I don't think it's like Spider-Man 2. It's just another version of the same, you know what I'm talking about. We got Spider-Man from the PS4, then we got Spider-Man from the PS4, PS5 again. And it's that one with the white and everything. And he's really cool, but that one, he came with only one web hand. And so when he's doing the web hand, he can only do it from one side ever. So he came with like a crawl hand on only one hand. Then he has 2 punches, he has a crawl, and he has a web. And so you could argue that that's a problem, because especially for him, the hands are somewhat unique. So it's not like you could just take another Spider-Man hand and put it on there and deal with it. You have to either customize it yourself, or you have to go get the old one, which is now an aftermarket value and it's pretty tough to get. So there is a problem that is developing here. But I personally am still okay with the price point for her. I can argue that I understand where it's coming from, but I haven't reached a point yet where it makes me go, oh, Marvel Legends is getting to be too much. And there's an argument to be made that I don't really collect Marvel Legends. I mean, I have a shelf that have Marvel Legends on it. But let's be honest about something real quick. If you was to look at this shelf, it's pretty full, and it's gonna be a lot more full because I haven't even opened half the Motu I have up there, and there's still figures that are sitting down behind me that I haven't opened. But if you were to go to the Marvel shelf, there's plenty of room to put more characters. They're spread out pretty easily up there. So maybe I just don't feel the impact like other collectors do. Either way, I've just added Jessica Drew Spider-Woman to the shelf. And for what it's worth, I think she's fantastic. This is probably the best... Oh, this is tough. I still think this is my favorite costume, but I think there's a lot of nostalgia tied to it. This might actually be the best Spider-Woman costume designed thus far in all of Spider-Man history. But unless you include Spider-Gwen in that category, because for a while she was calling herself Spider-Woman, it's got me thinking. Depending on the rules laid down, I'm not sure what my favorite Spider-Woman costume currently is. That's interesting. Oh well. Something to ponder, I guess. I'm gonna get out of here.